Roulette de Kolo Muani. Goal of Conceição, 1-0 against Inter. We forget about it because now we travel to Eindhoven tomorrow against PSV. There is a qualification to reach. Ciao Juventini of the world. My name is Giuseppe. Welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we forget about the beautiful victory against Inter, the one that gave a lot of boost, confidence, morale, enthusiasm to all the Juventini, because we have something important to do tomorrow, qualifying to the next round and waiting if we will play against Arsenal or Inter, and then we will be again allowed to think about the Nerazzurri. But now we forget and we think about the Rood and Wit, we think about the Boeren. If you didn't yet, please put a maximum of like, continue to make that channel bigger and bigger and bigger. How can you do it? I told you, likes, subscribing if you didn't yet, and of course sharing this channel, this video in all your groups, the WhatsApp group where you're speaking about football. Help me, support me, because it's helping me a lot. If you want to start with a prediction, you can already. If you want, put it here already, a prediction for tomorrow. I will wait until tomorrow. I told you, let's forget about Inter, let's focus on PSV. And how do we start? With the words of Peter Bosz, because the press conference of the Dutch coach already started, or they already spoke. We are waiting for the one of Thiago Motta later, where he said, are we in crisis? No, we are not in crisis. It's true that we are in a moment where we slow down a bit. We are not anymore first in Eredivisie, but we are still in the run. We are also in the run for the Dutch Cup, and we are still in the run for Champions League. It's a must-win game for us. We know it. Juventus did a lot of draws, but they just come from a win against Inter. We know that. Are we in crisis? No. And who will help us? The 12th man. The people that will be in the Philips Stadium in Eindhoven. It's not the biggest one, 35,000, but I can guarantee you that there is a really hot environment, atmosphere. They will support. They will really push their team from the first minute until the 95th, and even maybe until the extra times. We know it, huh? Extra time, 2 times 15 minutes, possibility to even go to the penalty session, hopefully not. What I'm scared about, guys, when I'm hearing that is that I know how PSV Eindhoven, the atmosphere is. We have a young team, we have a quite fragile team in some moments. If things are not going our direction, if we concede first, I'm really scared that we are not able to reply, to answer back. That's why we need to start really well that game with all our men at disposal. And that's why I'm telling you that not only we will play with the away shirt, the yellow shirt, who cares about that, but that we will play with some players on the bench that we were not even expecting until yesterday, because Andrea Cambiaso this morning in La Continassa, in the last training session in Torino before traveling and taking the plane, he did the entire training session, which is a fantastic news. How important was Andrea in the game against Inter? These 30 minutes that told us he's back. Finally, we needed him. Yesterday, we were a bit scared because he didn't participate to the entirety of the session. Today, yes. Does that mean that he starts tomorrow? He's a doubt. With another player, I will tell you the predicted lineup in a second. The other good news is Douglas Luiz. He will not start the game of tomorrow, but I can guarantee you that having 2 players from the midfield on the bench is much better than one when you are preparing the game. When Thiago Motta will turn himself and he will have 2 choices, not only will it be important for him, but also to put a bit of confusion towards the coach of PSV that do not know who will enter. Will it be Douglas Luiz? Will it be the other midfielder with different characteristic? How will Thiago Motta manage that second half and maybe the extra time? That's important to have more options, so I'm super happy for the 2 players that will be there. Who will not be there? I'm waiting for confirmation from Thiago, but we know it. Gleison, Juan, Arkadiusz, and Pierre. These are the 4 players that will not be there. If you don't know who I'm referring to, please go and Google it, but you should know. I think you should know. Ragazzi, today we have nearly a confirmation that who will start tomorrow, because in press conference, not only Thiago Motta will speak, but also another player, and it's a welcome back home for Teun Koopmeiners that will be back in the Netherlands. He will speak together with Thiago Motta. So are we thinking that he will start? Absolutely yes. All the predicted lineups are going towards that. We have the one of Tuttosport, we have the one of Gianluca Di Marzio. Tuttosport, the 11 chosen by Thiago are, at the moment, Di Gregorio into the goal, Weah, Gatti and Veiga, 3 men that are reconfirmed since a few games now, and if possible, depending about his physical condition, Cambiaso will start on the left. If not, it will be Kelly. For the midfielders, Locatelli, Koopmeiners, McKennie. I know that he will start opening a debate. Where is Thuram? Why is Thuram not starting? Up front, According to Tuttosport, Yildiz on the right side, Nico Gonzalez continues on the left with Kolo Muani on the number 9 position. According to Gianluca, it will be Kelly that starts as a left back, and it will be Chico Conceição that continues to have a starting spot like he did against Inter. So confirmation of the starting wingers against the Nerazzurri, also against the Rood en Wit, against the Boeren from PSV. What am I thinking about that predicted lineup? First of all, I'm waiting for the one of Giovanni Albanese this evening, but the defense, if we can recuperate Cambiaso, I tell you, it's the best possible defense that we can put at the moment without Kalulu that could possibly take his role on the right back. So it's the best one at the moment. If it's not Cambiaso, guys, what do? We play with Kelly. We give another chance to Kelly, even if that goal from Perisic on that side was a nightmare. We all remember. But that's the defense that we have. That's the man that we have at disposal. From the midfield, I still don't understand how is it possible that Thuram cannot continue to play with continuity, game in, game out, game in, game out. He's a young player with a lot of energy, so I don't really get it. It's true that he went out of the game against Inter at his request because he already started to have some cramps, so maybe it's not 100% physically ready. I don't know. The other explanation that I want to give myself to trying to justify Thiago not starting Thuram, but maybe I'm wrong, guys, but I try to justify, is maybe that Thiago is also taking into account that there is the possibility to play the extra time, and having a Thuram that can carry that ball, can split the midfield and the defense of PSV in the last minutes of the game could be an important one, could be a really important one to have his physicality there. If Yildiz doesn't start tomorrow, do we open a debate? No, we don't open a debate. Yildiz played every single game of this season. Chico Conceição in form can be a real threat for PSV, where Till will be missing that game probably. Nico Gonzalez is a player that starts the game. Guys, you know, we had not a lot of certainties in the past, except of McKennie plus 10 others. Now we go towards some certainties. McKennie, Nico Gonzalez, the two center backs, Veiga, Gatti, are certainties of this Juventus. And then a Kolo Muani. A Kolo Muani that can be reconfirmed again, playing game in, game out, game in, game out, with Dusan Vlahovic that goes towards the 7th consecutive bench. And here, yes, that we can open a debate that I want to come back later on. But now we go towards the second topic of the video. Tuttosport is opening with a beautiful news, a news that all the Juventini were waiting for. What about Kolo Muani, Beppe? Well, looks like he wants to stay at Juve. He said it in his presentation of Juve. He said it a few days later on his video on Serie A. I found the family. I have been welcomed as we should, as I wanted. I feel the trust. I have a fantastic, beautiful relationship with the coach. I understand his vision of football. I feel really well here with the Bianconeri. What about the future? We will see, but I'm feeling fantastically well. And then we know with a Frenchman at Juventus, they are always 9 on 10, they are doing extremely great. I don't want to speak about Anelka, about Boom Song, about a few other Frenchmen that strangely enough flopped, but the majority did extremely well. So Kolo Muani, can he continue to write history in French, en français? Probably yes. And there is already, according to Nico Schira, a possibility. This is what we reported here on the channel when the deal was sealed, that Juventus, they really wanted to go for an extra formula as soon as this season would be over, sitting at the table with Campos, sporting director of PSG, Al-Khelaifi, the the president of Paris Saint-Germain, to ask for an extended loan for 1 more year. Of course, a loan that you are paying probably 6 million euro without the salary, on top addition of the 5 that you are already paying for half a season, and then already having at certain condition an obligation to buy set at 45 million euro. So we are speaking about a total deal in 2026 June. So we are speaking about 1 year later, more than 1 year later, about a 55, 56, getting closer to the 60 million, but a player that you already have now in January 2025, which is absolutely not bad. He wants to stay. Juventus wants to keep him. Paris Saint-Germain is there. Is it a promise? Is it a security? Is it a contract that has already been signed? No, also because you can't. You need to wait for the next session. But we are going towards something beautiful for a player that had an immense impact. 5 goals, 1 assist since he's there with Juve in 4 games of Serie A. Who did also good with these contributions? Well, it's Quinta that started with 4 goals and 2 assists, while on the other side, Quado Asamoah, 1 goal and 3 assists in his first 4 games of Juve. But Kolo Muani is destined to do beautiful things, and hopefully he can continue like that. The other question, of course, from the Juventini is, yes, Beppe, great, fantastic, but what about the other one? With that arrow that entered immediately here, the target, our heart, Renato Veiga, the motivator, the passion guy, the one that is a Juventino more than you, than me, than everyone, than Boniperti. Well, it will be tough. It will be tough. Why couldn't Giuntoli sign him or ask for an option, ask for an obligation? It's because Chelsea, they didn't want to. Enzo Maresca didn't even want to loan him out. He was counting on him for the second part of the season. Chelsea ownership, they said, he's not playing that much. If we can actually put him in the window to actually have a bit of experience in a top club, well, mission starts to be really complete. It's a player that they don't want to even speak about it. Now, are there some margin? There is always a margin. The will of the player, the insistence of the player. If the player says, I don't want to go back, I don't want to go back, I want to stay at Juve, you can start having a discussion. Does that mean that you win the cards? No, because what is the money that they will ask? And if Renato continues to deliver like he's doing today, they will ask for a lot. What is the value today of Veiga? I have no idea. How much will they ask? 35, 40, 45, 50. There is a limit, of course, at everything. But it's true that at the moment the player is feeling extremely well at Juve. I want to enjoy Renato until the end of the season and then hoping. But it will be much more complicated for Juve to sign the Portuguese defender than the French striker. What about Giuntoli, guys? That's a video that I want to do in a few days. Maybe it's a bit too early. But could it be the revenge of Giuntoli signing permanently Kolo Muani? If there is a possibility to take Renato Veiga permanently, could it be a revenge? Because we criticize him correctly, I think, a lot this summer, this winter. But if you're looking at all the new faces, Di Gregorio, Cabal, Kalulu, Douglas Luiz, Koopmeiners, Thuram, Adzic, Conceição, Nico Gonzalez for the summer. In the winter, Alberto Costa, Renato Veiga, Lloyd Kelly, Kolo Muani. Which are the real flops of Giuntoli? Not a lot if you're looking at all these players. It's tough, huh? It's really tough to have 100% mercato. Of course, what is actually really, really impacting the judgment of Giuntoli is the high prices that we paid for Koopmeiners and probably also Douglas Luiz with the performance that are not arriving, but there is still the second part of the season so that they can actually make sure that Giuntoli goes with 100%. There is a last thing that I wanted to go towards in that video. Oh, 2 last things, by the way. The first one is Tether. Tether, that a lot of people ask me, Beppe, what are we speaking about? Cryptocurrency, is that the new owner of Juve? Are these our new bosses? No, ragazzi. Juventus, the ownership, Exor, didn't sell any shares, but it's true that we are on the stock market, and Tether, they bought 5.01% of the shares of Juve. Why 5.01%? Because at 5.01, you have also a right to vote in taking some, or your voice is heard in some decisions that are taken, and that's super important for people that do want to know. I will try to inform myself a lot, or with my friend Mo El Shahali, or with the direct interested, I mean the people from Tether, to have maybe an exclusive interview in English about what are their plans for the future. A lot of people are speaking about sponsorship, about how much money they can put in. Will that money be interesting also for us, for the Mercato? Could be a good news. I cannot tell you too much. It's true that it's creating the buzz. A lot of people are speaking about it, but I don't want to go with too much or just reading what is online. You can do the same. When I have more concrete news and what it means for you, I will tell you. And I want to finish now with someone that we need to mention here on the channel. Probably the most iconic Italian player ever. Today it's the birthday of Roberto Baggio, Il Divin Codino. What a player, guys. 5 seasons at Juve, 200 appearances, 115 goals, 3 trophies, not as much as we would have loved to. In a Juve, that was a shaking Juve, my Freddy, some Juve that were not winning Juve, a Juve that was starting to work, to build in that negative cycle to go towards a winning Juve. We had a great player that probably has never been 100% in his heart a Juventino, which is alternating the judgment a lot of Juve people. Also because after his career at Juve, he never really pushed the narrative of I have been a Juventino, while actually in the 5-year review is probably where he did the most, the best. Of course, we have the images of Bologna, we have the images of Brescia, we have him with the shirt of Inter, with Milan, but if we are really looking at the big team where he did the best and probably won the most, was Juve. It's Juve and, of course, La Nazionale Italiana, where he was about to make us win a Mondiale da solo, alone, with his goals that were epic. Fantastic player, absolutely yes, especially for a player with all these injuries, and the techniques to heal back from these injuries in the past were absolutely not the same as today. What could he have been without these injuries? Big question mark. Probably top 5 of the best players of the world without any debate. Today you can debate. Without the injuries, there was no debate. He would have entered there immediately. Is it a pity that we didn't see Baggio fully embracing that Juventinità? Probably yes. On the other side, you know it, as we always say, for a beautiful story that ends sometimes not always, but you can have a fantastic one that starts. And we know that when Baggio stopped at Juve, there was the rise of a kid that was already playing with him, of Alessandro Del Piero, that took over that number 10 shirt on his back. Ragazzi, happy birthday to Roberto Baggio, happy birthday to all the Juventini that are maybe celebrating a birthday and watching today without telling us. Happy birthday to you or to your family members, your friends. Anyway, tomorrow I will be in Eindhoven. Again, I don't know if I said it already or not, but for the people that arrive there, send me a message, direct message on Instagram, on social media. Tell me, Beppe, I'm here. Don't be shy. And then we talk a bit, and maybe if we have an opportunity, we take a coffee together, whatever. Let me know, because I will be there in Eindhoven to support the guys, to actually try to sing louder than the one of PSV. Grazie, forza, Juve.